And with this, we move on to our first panel discussion of the day, that is smart buildings and I2. Well, what is a smart building? We all knew buildings. I would request the subject matter experts and the panel members to do that. To do this, once again, who needs no further introduction, I request once again Lieutenant Colonel A.K. Berry, Chairman West Asia Property and Asset Management JLL, also a board member infra, to moderate the session. Can I welcome him on stage, please? I also take pleasure to invite the panel members, Mr. Arun Khanna, Director Real Estate, United Health Corporation Information Services Private Limited. Mr. Moinuddin Syed, Director Global Real Estate and Workplace Enablement, American Express. Mr. Manakjeet Singh, Vice President Real Estate and Security Management, XLT Global, wholly owned by Everstone Group. Can we have a round of applause for them, please? Mr. Subdeep Singh Arora, Director Checkmate Industrial Services. Mr. Gitesh Agarwal, ED and CMO, DNM India, and also board member infra. Last but not the least, Mr. Sameer Roy, Head Facilities, NewGen. Over to the moderator and the panel members.
I take the liberty of being in the podium. I can view my script better. Firstly, thanks a lot for inviting us, grateful to Infra, to be part of a panel of such an important topic like smart buildings. I had the privilege of also moderating a session which was, I think, about 5-6 months back on smart cities. So I thought that let me recapitulate and bring out certain things which still stuck in my mind on smart cities. Because to my mind, smart cities should have smart buildings. So let me take you over to what is lying for us in future. Let me tell you, we are all sitting in exciting times. This is a time when India is transforming or going to transform in a big manner. Just to give you an idea that the urban population, which was in 2011 was 377 million, is going to become 590 million. Approximately 60% growth. Brought out earlier on when I was talking to you, there would be 68 cities with population of more than 1 million, 13 cities with a population of 4 million, and 6 megacities with population of more than 10 million. So you can imagine the influx on urban cities and how much requirement would be there in terms of buildings. Just to give you an idea, there would be an additional requirement of 700 to 900 million square meters of commercial and residential buildings. There also would be requirement of a massive skill development, a massive skills upgradation with the existing facility management people. You guys would be ruling the roost. You would be the head of departments of so many such buildings in the years to come. And I'm talking about 2030. All these are predicted by McKinsey for the year 2030, which is only 14 years ahead. Just to give you an idea, there would be an additional requirement of 700 to 900 million square meters of commercial and residential buildings. There also would be requirement of a massive skill development, a massive skills upgradation with the existing facility management people. You guys would be ruling the roost. You would be the head of departments of so many such buildings in the years to come. And I'm talking about 2030. All these are predicted by McKinsey for the year 2030, which is only 14 years ahead. Now this is also in sync with our Prime Minister's 100 Smart Cities. 100 Smart Cities is being based on 4 pillars. The first pillar being the governance, the second on physical infrastructure, the third on social infrastructure, and last, very important one, is the technology pillar which will drive all these 3. Therefore, any smart buildings which have to come should be able to speak to the technology pillars of the smart city. Now, technology has always been influencing the buildings we build. 2 to 3 decades back, it was just rudimentary systems like communication systems. Your HVAC systems were very, very rudimentary. Your electricity systems, again the same. In the new era of buildings, it's not surprising that we see sensors on walls, on roofs. They are the ones which are monitoring and measuring the building performance of our day-to-day activities. Now these are the ones which are called smart buildings. They are driven by software tools which are used to automatically optimize building systems without human intervention. The real-time information about the building that is relevant to particular needs is being provided to the occupants and building management. A smart building is that which is fully interactive to derive operational excellence. When we talk about India, they are smart, semi-smart, a bit shade, S might be missing, that sort of thing. So what I'm giving you is a holistic picture, but when I come to you subsequently, it is getting a reality in India. Now these smart buildings will require a nodal platform to coordinate the design of all facets of smart building. It could be HVAC control, lighting control, audio visuals, video distribution, access control, data network, voice network, power management, video surveillance, fire alarm system, and the list can go on and on. Now these designs, when they are coordinated to a common platform, would ensure savings in cost, in time, and increase efficiencies. Now where do we stand now? In July 2015, Honeywell carried out a survey of 2,000 buildings in 8 cities in India. The survey was to find out what is the state of affairs of smart building in India. They focused on 15 qualities and also on around 10 segments. The cities were by and large all cities except mega cities, except for maybe Hyderabad and Ahmedabad included. Now what they came to a conclusion was that Bangalore was the most, around 47% or 47 out of 100 was a score of Bangalore itself on smart cities. It was followed by Delhi, which was, or NCR region, which was approximately to the tune of 41. And it was Bombay, which was rated 36. So it gives you a fair idea that when we are talking about smart cities, some form of smartness already exists in these 3 layers. Now the survey also was focused upon the following areas. One was safe, green, and productivity. And the segments were as follows. The topmost segment, which was fairly smart, was the airports, around 47%. The second was followed by hotels, which was around 40, early 40s. And then came hospitals and so on and so forth. But the lowest was educational institutes. Now these were the ones and residential areas. So that means when we're talking about smartness as a whole, we already know where we stand and where we need to give a pump up. Now in our next 20 minutes, our panel will be discussing on these three facets which Honeywell had thought about of smart building. Was firstly on the green part, the second would be on the safe part, and the last one would be productivity. Another point which I wanted to mention was, in the survey what they found was, as far as safety is concerned, safety to the workers, they were 8 out of 100. So in all the segments, we have not given any focus or very minimal focus to the safety of workers, including the protective equipment, which I think should be the need of our, and I am sure all of us agree on this account. We've got a learned, panels with us. It's a mix of people who are using the buildings, end users, as also service providers like me. So I would request them to give their opinion, their exposure, what they think about any facets of smart buildings.